she got mad at creating templates, so she just uses a signature instead.
Well, that would be great, but it's like a whole like notification template that's being sent out, so
Oh, okay.
it's like all branded and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's stuff.
All
Happy
right, cool.
stewing.
Yeah, well,
So-
basically, yeah, it's literally table inside a table, inside a table, inside a table, inside a table, and then loads of styling doesn't actually work in Outlook. So yeah, I've been having fun figuring that out over the last couple of days.
Cool. Terry, did you start recording? Or someone did.
I
That's good.
did. I did.
Yeah,
Is
thank
that
you. I
okay?
totally lost it. Yeah, absolutely perfect. Can you? I don't know if you have the option to start transcription as well on your recording options.
It's not. Yeah, it's not showing up as an option, so I don't know what's
Okay.
up.
All right.
But if it
Okay,
doesn't happen,
we can do it. I think we maybe did it post meeting. So so for those watching this recording, we started 2 minutes in, so you missed all the intro and all the talk about being in Jamaica and all that good stuff. So
in the sun.
and Shane is sharing his revelation around dealing with email templates, which is interesting.
Yeah, don't do them.
And then the option is to have lots of signatures. Use signature files, which is interesting. What's in the template? What's the purpose it's meeting?
Just like created notifications, resolved updates on a ticket, just like standard notifications that you'd have, but just nice looking templates.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you'd kind of have to jump through a few hoops to get to the end result.
Okay.
Actually, building the template itself in HTML was really easy.
Mm-hmm.
But it was then getting it all to work in Outlook, which was, well, I'm still trying to get it to work. So.
Okay.
Yeah, there are many functions not working.
Yeah, it's a real shame.
to-
They're using a very old rendering engine, like
Yeah.
IE9 or 7 or something. It might even be older than that. So
Yeah.
loads of stuff doesn't work.
Had also fun in the past with that, especially for
Yeah.
buttons and these little graphical things.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge.
Yep.
So yeah, other than that, what else have I been doing? Just building the odd customization here and there. Nothing groundbreaking, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay.
But, yeah, nothing too exciting.
Yeah.
Busy but not exciting.
There you go. And Abby put a note in there saying that had a team add canned replies to Cireson to save her fingers. That has been nice. Yeah, that's cool. I mean,
how'd you do that? Is that something built internally?
Yeah, I'll have to, when Alexis is back, I think she's out sick. I think she has the note pages from that. I just know I pull down the drop down menu, it puts it in the action log, and I just have to click go.
Nice.
oh, okay.
We kind of talked about that internally a bit, didn't we, Shane? Something we
Saving
talked about
clicks.
doing something similar.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
Yeah, those clicks add up, and if it standardizes and streamlines, then that's a value add.
Yep, because we're sending the customer like several paragraphs of information, whether they choose to read it or not.
Right. All right. Very cool. So I was gonna segue to you, Justin, about any sort of thoughts, feedback on the release that just dropped. I know we talked internally it being more sort of fixed focused than feature focused, but that's all. Again, that's still good.
Yeah. Just several fixes. I mean, I don't want to like tout our horn or whatever too loud or strong, but of late, I feel like we haven't had just a ton of issues. That we used to have pretty glaring issues, and we used to have a lot faster release cycle because of because there were so many issues. Our dev team has done a lot of work to kind of shore up their process and testing and all of that. And so you know, we don't have as many kind of big issues as we used to have. I hope you guys feel that kind of subjectively or objectively. So, and I'm looking at the list now that's in 11.4.1, and it's pretty large. But I think once again that speaks to, you know, I didn't realize there were so many going into it, but I think it speaks to, like, it feels 11.4.0 still felt relatively stable. I mean, stable is not the right word, but you know what I mean? Like, it felt, I don't want to say solid once again, but I mean, you know, it felt good. Like to me, you know, who is in front of the issues all day, every day, it didn't feel like there was anything super glaring. You know, there's a couple of standouts, but not like, you know, not like back in the day when we would have, you know, like a major issue that like lots of people reported on. You know, now our biggest issue is like we get 4 or 5 reports at the absolute most. And so to have, you know, to have a list this large, it looks kind of, it might be intimidating from you guys' perspective, but like I said, they're mostly going to be minor things. And yeah, I mean, I'm really, my confidence, I mean, maybe this is not the right thing to say, but my confidence in terms of like our version stability, I'll just go ahead and say stability has gone up, you know. Like I said, credit to the dev team with their processes and whatnot, but I feel like our releases now are really, really good and go a lot longer than they used to.
Right. And then going longer means that it's going to be, there may be, you may have a longer list, but the severity of the issues being fixed aren't jugular, which means you have to kind of have a release after release after release.
Right, exactly.
I think to what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
It certainly feels that way. I mean, in my role, I'm less in front of the issues and the support ticket issues that drive fixes. That's why I wanted to defer to Justin, who's kind of more hands-on in that space. But yeah, it does feel like if the cadence is less, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's no work being done. I think it speaks to there being more stability between the releases.
Well, if you think about, like, you know, we're on 11.4.1 on, you know, that came out March 30th. That says, or actually, I mean, I guess it did come out the 30th. 11.4.0 came out February 4th, so that's nearly 2 months, you know, between 11.4.0 and 11.4.1, compared to like 9.0. If you guys remember 9.0, you know, we went to like 9.0.15 in pretty rapid succession.
Right.
You know, so I like I said, I just think, you know, once again, credit to the dev team. None of them are here, but you know, it's gotten tighter over time.
Yeah,
I mean, can you guys feel that? I mean, it's
Abby gave it a thumbs up, but yeah, has anyone else have gotten any sort of feedback or anecdotal responses to that?
Your forum is not screaming with "this is broken," so I use that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Peter's giving it a good thumbs up too.
And
that's cool.
Speaking of the forum, it's been really. I'm sorry, Brian. I saw you come off mute. If you got something to say, go ahead.
No, I can wait till the end.
Okay. Was it about the releases? Like, did you have feedback around that?
Yeah, overall, I'm really happy with them, and the continual rolling out of new features and everything is fantastic. Just a few little minor, hiccups.
Okay. I was just gonna say real quick about the community forum that Abby mentioned, which all you guys have obviously been to, because that's kind of how this started. It seems like it's been really hot lately. Lots of good questions and answers, and I'm really happy that it's, you know, it's so active. But it's not, like, to Abby's point, it's not about, you know, this is broken or that is broken. It seems to be new people in this space asking questions and getting help, and I'm really happy for that.
Cool. Very good.
Yeah, I want to say from me especially, because I had some topics with version 9, and some of the releases are, I think, because of me.
Yeah.
And
no doubt.
I really like also the stable version, as I call it. And yeah, also my customers, we don't have big issues. I would say I think the in brackets the biggest one was the wrong priority calculation, which is fixed in the new version, which I
Yeah.
really like. And well, as you said, Justin, just small things, some of them, but no big thing. Yeah.
Yeah. The priority calculation is one of the bigger ones that sticks out. And it's
Mhm.
not even, it doesn't even necessarily have a functional impact, right?
Yeah.
Because number one, if you, it was like priority or urgency and impact. If you set, I think it was impact second, then it would calculate the priority correctly. But furthermore, the workflow, the service manager workflow would run behind and set the priority appropriately. So it wasn't like, yeah, it was there, but it wasn't really functionally impacting.
Yeah.
So, like I said,
Just
that
just
was
a
one of the bigger
display.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a big one because I think every customer I have asked me about this topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that stuck out for me was the not a number on numbers that could be
Mm,
converted to dates.
yeah.
We had some people notice that, but I was running through the list of problems there, and I recognized a few of them.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, the date thing, that one was, I guess, fairly major in its kind of impact, but it wasn't like, we didn't have a ton of folks screaming about it. That it was kind of what I call edgy in terms of, not a lot of, that it was a pretty specific situation for that one to come up. It wasn't like just an everyday use kind of thing for most of our customers. Brian, like you said, I think it was kind of exposed by trying to pick a specific kind of object with like numbers in the display name or something, right?
Yep, right. Employee
Yep.
IDs just happen to be 8
The
digits.
right digits, yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at the list now too.
Was there anything in there about fixing the work items reminder email?
No, because that's not part of the portal.
Oh.
I think I can look that PR up. I believe we've put that forward. We have a meeting, support has a meeting with product on the off Friday from this meeting, and we kind of nominate PRs to go up, and I think that one got put forward.
Okay. Does everybody know what it looks like? I mean, you want me to share?
Yeah, no, I'm aware of what it looks like.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
know. It's not in that list. Do you happen to know the number on that, Brian?
No, I don't. Sorry.
That's all right. Just looking to see if I can find it. Those are all. Steam. I mean, most of our, issues are portal issues. I mean, that's like the biggest and the most.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble finding that one right now. I'll see. I'll follow up on that one. Like I said, I'm having trouble finding it right now, so let me follow up on that.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Can't imagine what else it would be in. Let me go back to this. Anything else? Anybody got any other feedback?
I do have a question about future release. Do you have any idea when the release that's going to include archiving attachments into the analytics database is going to happen?
That is a good question. It will be, so obviously latest just went to 11.4.1. I think the next
Mhm.
release will be baseline to 11.4.1, and then the next release after that will be, yeah, probably 11.5.0, which will be the archiver. And I believe, John's not here. I wish he was here to correct me or whatever, but I believe it'll be archiving the attachments as well. I know,
Fantastic.
like I said, the new archiver will roll out with 11.5, and I believe it'll do attachments.
Awesome. Awesome.
Cool.
So, and I mean, I don't have a timeline, like when exactly, but that's, like I said, next 11.4.1 will go to baseline, and then latest we'll have the archiver after that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, Adam would have his finger on the pulse with that one, and he's keen to get it out, but
Yeah.
he'll have a better idea on the timeline in terms of when that will drop. But as Justin said, there's this current release to latest, then move to baseline, and then allowing us to put the 11.5 on latest.
Mhm.
So,
I expect, don't hold me to this. I know we're recording, but I expect, Brian, it'll be this month.
Oh, sweet. That will vastly impact our data retention settings.
Yeah, that'll be great.
We'd be able to drop it way down to practically nothing.
cool. Brian, are you in discussions with Adam on beta testing? Are you part of the
No, I'm not part of that.
pre-release? Okay, I just didn't know whether you kind of seen it ahead of time.
I just remember seeing it on his roadmap, and
Yeah.
it's stuck.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, that's cool. Then, yeah, I mean, he's excited that people are excited. So, go a long way in making sure that it's a good release
Mhm.
when it's ready.
Yeah,
Excellent.
we have people that search old tickets all the time, and a lot of times they'll want to look up, open an email or some kind of a schematic or something like that, and
Yeah.
so we have to have our data retention settings on several years worth in order
Oh,
to
okay.
be able to access that information. So once this change goes into effect, we would be able to drop it down to what he says, a week, a couple days, and everything will still be available through search.
Exciting. And your use case for looking at old tickets is right in the sweet spot of the archiver, the archiver premise, in terms of I want to find an old ticket as opposed to I want to do a report or trending on tickets from 3 years ago versus this year, which is more of a sort of a data warehousey type analytics and analysis type request rather than just picking up an old ticket. So
Well, the beauty of that database is it serves as both. So we run a lot of reports right off of analytics.
Okay. Yeah. It's certainly a simpler structure. It's not cube based, but it's a simpler structure for sure. If all of your archived data is in that table structure, that database, rather than either a data warehouse or stuck deep in the belly of the CMDB. So, all right, cool. That sounds like a great use case.
Brian, you mentioned that you guys are currently retaining up to 2 years.
It's even higher than that, actually. But
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you already know, but when you go to reduce that, do it slowly.
I did not know that.
I'll see if I can find a script. I'll try to put it out there. Microsoft gave us one years ago that we were having an issue where our grooming actually broke.
Yeah.
So none of our tickets were being groomed, and we had to do ticket counts for dates.
Yeah.
And we had to do I think we ended up doing 3,000 a night is what we set it to. And we had to make sure that those got groomed correctly before we could move on to the next day and the next day and the next day.
That's a good point.
It is not something like that amount. You'll overload your grooming.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, one of our customers, and I don't know if they got the script. I don't think they got the script from Microsoft. I think they developed it internally. Had a similar issue. What they had done was they used PowerShell and generated a bunch of service requests at once. I don't recall the use case for that, but basically, yeah, they just overloaded the grooming job and it stopped. It
Yep.
didn't. It just stopped grooming, and so they had to they were running I think there's an SP for grooming, and they were running it manually, and yeah, like feeding it some kind of range somehow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because the
we did
one,
that. We did that a couple of years ago. We actually deleted. It was like 1,000 or 2,000 configuration items. So all of the relationships were deleting, and it just killed the system.
Yeah. Crazy.
so I have a question more for everyone on here is, are you using the latest versus the baseline, or which way do you guys go in your production environment?
Latest. Can't wait.
I like that.
I'm leaning towards that, especially with this next release. I'm just like, we may just have to bump it and get on the latest.
As a matter of fact, I downloaded and installed in our dev environment while we were talking, and NAN is gone, no longer.
Yeah, great.
I
That's good.
was looking at one, it was 1019.1103, which had converted. Now it's
Yeah.
now I can read it. That's beautiful.
Perfect. Very
Beautiful.
cool.
Good stuff. Good. Well, I think one of the, I'm going to just kind of verbalize it. So I think it's one of those takeaways. It's a good point in terms of that shift from, once archiver goes out, not just dropping your grooming from 3 years to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
There's a gradual process. So I mean, whether there's a specific script for Microsoft, or just the awareness that you are potentially stressing or breaking the system by going from that level of grooming down. Certainly worth maybe an article or just a note that says, hey, when you are shaving off your grooming times with this archiving opportunity, don't just go from 3 years to 3 weeks.
So what is a safe duration to reduce by?
That'll depend on the number of tickets in your system, because you got to figure if you change it from, we'll just use, like, we started out at a year and we were trying to reduce per Microsoft down to 90 days. We had to do it week by week because of the number of tickets that we had in every week, which is, if I can find it, what they gave us was basically a count of all tickets that came in within a time range or a date range. And we narrowed it down to a week and said, okay, we can safely do this without killing everything. And we just slowly did it. And we just got to the point where we just said, forget it. And we just rebuilt.
Wow.
But ours was, when they first pulled me into SCSM, I had the fun job of trying to figure out why our system was broke. And working with Microsoft, we found that the grooming was broke, and it had been broke for almost 5 years.
Wow.
So we destroyed that system. It was terrible, but somebody had done something that had broke it at one point. But I'll see if I can find it. I'll post it out there, because I know really all it is you want to look at your account and kind of see how many things you're grooming currently, and then kind of double it, make sure your servers can do it efficiently, and just kind of keep moving up until you find the right amount. That's kind of what we had to do, because it's all going to depend on your number of tickets, your cores for your SQL, and how fast it's going to run, versus you could just flood it.
That gave me an idea. I mean, I don't know if anybody uses any kind of dashboarding to kind of be aware of their flow metrics. It'd be interesting to me to know, like, what's your daily, or not that you guys have to tell me, but like, be aware of your kind of daily volume, or volume over time period. Like, I could see that being useful for that kind of calculation. You know, like if you take in 1,000 incidents a day or over, 1,000 incidents a month or whatever it is, that'd be good to know that volume kind of right at the have a dashboard or something that has that calculation for you, right? I mean, would that be a helpful metric, you guys think?
Yeah, I think so. But I mean,
I mean,
it'd be really cool if we could correlate it with, tickets coming in versus tickets being groomed also,
yeah,
because that's a good metric to say, hey, our system's running efficiently, or, oh, hey, we had 10,000 tickets come in last month, but we only groomed 1,000.
right, yeah,
That'll tell you that there's an error at some point or a big date range issue.
yeah. I just think that volume metric is important for a lot of calculation. I mean, yeah, especially those grooming, but I could see, wanting to have an awareness of that. That's one of the things. I've done health checks, for customers before, and that's kind of one of the things that we look at to determine other, kind of decision making points. But that volume indicator is definitely a good thing to have.
Yeah, because you could even filter off of that. And if somebody asked, hey, how many of these tickets are we getting? You can quickly filter it and say, hey, here's how many you had.
Yeah.
That would come in handy for a lot of automation too. If you start to see a lot of the same tickets coming in, you can
Oh man.
pinpoint it and go, hey, we need to automate these. We've got way too many of these coming in that can be automated.
Yeah.
So it'd be more like a return on investment right there.
Well, and I was just thinking too, like if you somehow captured it in Azure Log Analytics, you could throw an alert, if that number is getting high, like higher
Yep.
than some kind of threshold, throw a notification, throw an alert.
Keep it in the system first. Keep it in the system first.
Fair enough.
They won't give us licenses yet. Nobody wants to pay for Azure.
Yeah.
You're spinning Justin's wheels there right now. You see the cogs are turning. I can almost hear them.
Yeah, I mean, you could do something. I don't know why I went straight to ALA, but you could do something in Service Manager with that. Like a custom workflow or whatever. That calculates that number, and if it's high, then trigger some kind of action, whether it's a notification. Probably, I mean, that's always the first kind of line of defense, right? Is notification and let somebody handle it. But it could, like to your point, Chris, could trigger some other kind of notification. I mean, not notification, but automation, or a prompt to go build some automation, right? Like you said.
Right. Ours would mainly be for us to look at the report and say, okay, here's our highest ticket counts for certain things. Hey, these are the next things that we need to automate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you guys have like a success story in terms of, you built some automation and that helped reduce some kind of number like that?
Ours is a lot of it is our lease replacement cycle. That would be the big one. And I've got that all automated from basically for asset management, we use ServiceNow. And then we have a join to a company-wide ITG data warehouse. So they get all the information from ServiceNow, and I do SQL queries daily against that database and generate tickets within 120-day range for things that are ending or coming off lease and get them to the local support teams.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
That was our biggest one. And the one I'm working on, they had me stop what I'm doing. But basically, I'm just working on a routing calendar for local time zones, basically. So based on state of the person that submits a ticket, we're going to route from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., checking the time zone that they're in and route to the correct local support.
Nice.
Oh.
And then anything outside of those time ranges or on the weekend goes to our service desk.
Very cool.
So
That's nice.
Yeah, we've got one that basically you drop an Excel spreadsheet into a shared folder, and an orchestrator runbook will pick it up and generate a number of tickets automatically.
Yeah, that's cool too.
Yeah.
we did similar. We have our security team email an Excel file to our connector, and it actually recognizes the title and the subject and then downloads the attachment and starts generating tickets.
That's fantastic.
So we don't
Oh.
even have to touch it. They don't have to load it anywhere. They just email it to the system.
That must be Adam's connector, right?
No,
Oh, that's the
That's-
standard Exchange
that's
connector?
the standard Exchange connector. Basically, the way we set it up is everything that comes in through our connector goes to a default parent IT support teams.
Yeah.
And then Orchestrator filters through that.
Mm.
And that's where we do the majority of our routing. And then we
Okay.
use what we're calling like tags, where we have specific ending characters, and we can route based on a 3-digit character.
Nice.
So we can route to AD by having them put bracket AD01 bracket.
Nice.
And then depending on the team, we also have, if they forward an email, we have a script in there that parses it and looks for an original email, and it'll make the person that originally sent the email the affected user, and the person that forwarded the email the assigned to.
Very cool.
That's
Oh, it's clever.
Yeah, for sure. Man, you guys could get so much mileage with Adams. I mean, I don't mean to like shamelessly plug his connector. I just know like some of that functionality is already there, and then there's the I forget what he calls it. There's like little events, before message processing, after message processing, custom events, I think maybe he calls it.
Yeah, and we tested it in our dev environment, and it kept stalling and breaking whenever somebody from outside of the company was trying to email to us, like spam or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then we wanted to try and move to start connecting more with the Azure stuff, things like that. And of course, we just haven't gotten back around to it, because I do want to get our new dev environment set up, start using O365 for those accounts, and then see if we can get it working, and maybe hit up Adam if we're still having those same issues. But yeah, we really want to move to that connector.
Yeah.
We are a user. Mhm. Yep,
You're using it?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Can't
Love it.
go
Do you
wrong.
do you have the latest version with the external ticket matching stuff?
Yes, but
Are you
yeah.
leveraging that?
We haven't played with that yet.
Okay, cool.
No, we just changed our connection settings yesterday to take advantage of Exchange Online. And,
Oh, nice.
Going to SSO. I want to get into the recognition, the AI.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That stuff looks so cool, but we don't have a use case at this point.
Right.
Oh, you can make up a use case for that one. Come on.
Yeah. It's selling it to the bosses.
There you go. Actually, I'm gonna. That's almost a nice little segue into you guys are talking about innovation, and innovate 2022 is on the cards for Cireson, and some of these things we've talked about in terms of whether it's smart connectors, finding use cases for leveraging automation, AI, as you just mentioned there, Brian, and selling it to bosses, which obviously is another key factor. It's one thing having technology out there; it's making sure that it's got a decent use case and can be sold to the people who are making the decisions. And like I said, we've got Innovate 2022 slated for this year. There'll be more, as I said, there'll be more stuff from a marketing cadence coming out shortly. So sort of watch your inboxes for that. But how many people on the call went last year or have watched videos from last year? I think either show of hands or just come off mute.
Remember correctly, I think everybody went.
Yeah, there you go. Nice. All right, cool. Again, that's very cool. I mean, it's early days, like I said. I don't want to steal marketing's thunder. So, like I said, it's coming up, and we're excited about it. It's nice to just do it again, and sort of lessons learned from last year, and also just kind of springboard into more of those tools and features that people can leverage. Do you have any thoughts, Tara? I'm going to put her on the spot a little bit here.
No, no, you're not stealing any thunder. No, we're just no, I think right now we're just kind of exploring what those potential opportunities or pain points or things that you are interested in hearing about, things that we want to show you how to do, or what might be sort of advantageous to help just bolster your skill set. So I think we're just trying to hone in on really good topics for INNOVATE and things that will be of value.
Yeah. Very cool. And there may be a poll. There may be a poll coming out your way shortly as well. So if you get anything from us on INNOVATE, please give it a few minutes just to consider and respond back. That would really help kind of shape, as Tara said, shape the content and focus. So we make sure you guys get the most out of it. But just some of the things that came out on that last clip of the discussion around, the question in terms of how you use, how has automation helped, and how if you got use cases or success stories of where it saved time and resource, is really sort of up that street with regards to innovation. And innovation doesn't have to be massive. And I know I did a session last year with a customer, Gordon Kenmure from BCU, and we talked about dashboarding. And one of my slides was about sort of innovation, and the types of innovation. And sometimes it just requires a small change, which is implementable and sustainable. And over time you see massive results from that apparently small change. It doesn't have to be a burn the ships and jump to something new out the gate. So we're keen to make sure that all types of innovations are covered, whether it's something that seems kind of innocuous, but over time really does reap rewards. So floor's open. Anything else? People excited about us doing another INNOVATE this year?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Very.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Big time.
Very cool. Very cool. Chris, you got your hand up. You had a question or comment?
No, it's still up there from my response. Let me get that out there.
Can't put his hand down. There you go. So okay, cool. So I've given us a sort of an early alert pitch on INNOVATE. So yeah, we're excited to make sure that happens. And as I said, your feedback's valuable and or invaluable. So watch this space. Is there anything? We're 49 minutes in. Is there anything else that's pressing? AOB? Anything? Floor's open. Abby, to your, I know you pinged me offline on last week's or last time's recording. I'll get that posted in our spot there. And
Thank you.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I couldn't start a new thread, so I just
That's fine.
onto that one.
That's totally fine. We'll make sure we'll get that recording up there, and just good stuff. Let me throw a question just out of left field here. How many people have gone through any part of our learning management system, LMS, either themselves or people within their organization, within their teams?
Been through almost all of them.
Excellent.
You went through them all, Chris?
Almost.
Wow.
Okay. Cool. I'll have to check your percentage and send out.
The
out of the way.
Cireson Learning thing?
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
I've gone through some.
Okay.
So before Steve calls me a liar, I didn't go through the ones that were asset management. I went through the
Okay.
SCSM and SCSM and Cyrus ones.
No, that's cool.
The ones that
Excellent.
apply to my job.
Yeah.
And
No,
I have honestly have to say they are amazing. They are
Oh,
they're just enough information to that I can like, and he's not on the call anymore, or unless he rejoined. But Eric started working with me maybe 2 years ago, and he had never touched SCSM or anything. So one of the first things I did was I was like, start watching these. I'll start showing you things, and he's picked up a lot of the knowledge faster than I did trying to learn it from a book or from error. So,
Wow.
I mean,
very cool.
I always look
That is
forward
cool.
if you guys put new ones out there, I'm on it. And
That's
I
good to
use them
know.
for review because like a lot of times I am not good with JavaScript and I'm not good with some of the stuff on the portal, but there's some references out there that I constantly go, oh, this is where it was, and I'll find it and review it. Go, okay, I can work from here.
Game
So
changer
I do
moment.
appreciate those. Yeah.
If you are doing a lot of custom JS, user snippets in VS Code is like a game changer. Like you said, if there's something you're referencing a lot, in terms like if you're doing some kind of boilerplate thing over and over in custom JS, like for example, registering a work item task, you know what I'm talking about when I say registering a work item task? No. So like if you're building a cut, which I mean, this is something we do a lot, I guess, depending on the situation, but like, you can add custom tasks to incidents or service requests or whatever. And the syntax is basically the same every time, right? You build up a little shell and then you put your function in the middle, what you're actually trying to accomplish. So anyway, I built a user snippet in VS Code where I don't even remember what it is now, but if I knew what it was, I just type it out. I think it's like, I don't know, SMP task or something, and I hit enter and it sets that shell up for me. And then I don't have to, like you said, copy and paste from somewhere else or review some reference, whatever. The code is just there, and then I can get straight into what I'm trying to do. User snippets in VS Code is awesome.
There you go. That's what Abby was doing in Outlook, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
It's almost that kind of auto scripting to get you started without you having to cut and paste from places.
That's something that I've really been trying to dig into lately. Just trying to get more efficient in the things that I'm doing.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to really lean on it, like, I don't know, manually, think about it and do it rather than just leave it out in the ether somewhere.
Cool. Chris, do you mind if we quote you on some of the things you said about LMS just then?
Not at all.
Okay. All right. Cool. I think Tara heard that too. So yeah, I mean I asked the question because it's one of those areas that we want to make sure that customers are aware of what's there. Sometimes people think it's too daunting or just a lot of work, but you can pick and choose the topics, and like you said, things that are relevant to your function or your job. Definitely worth putting out there. And also, the more people use it, the more we can get feedback on what other topics to cover, or even just updating some of the content that's there so it stays relevant. It's an important tool for us. A lot of work went into, like I said, blood, sweat, and tears went into standing up that platform and making it what it is. So we definitely want to make sure we're leveraging as much from it as possible. And I'll be doing some sort of metrics to see how many, what modules are the popular ones and what percentage people typically get to. Not everyone does 100% of everything, but just sort of calling out people who are close to completing and maybe seeing what stopped them, or people who got started and then didn't complete, and what sort of put them off, if there's any, that sort of stuff. So just wanted
my one recommendation to those would be to have the example files available.
Okay.
A lot of them that I was confused on or needed actual examples of, I reached out, and granted, you guys were amazing with finding the code and giving me the examples that were used, but I would highly recommend making that available, because
Okay.
there's some things in there that I literally paused the video in several sections and manually typed it out.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
To
That's
try
not
and
fun.
figure out, okay, how does this work? What are
Yeah.
you guys using? And you're gonna misspell something. So I misspelled a couple variables and then went back and went, oh yeah, well, there's why.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. I mean, that's good, because then we can even sort of see how much activity there are on downloads of examples that will speak to activity within the site as well. So that may help. Okay, good. That's good feedback. Thank you. And then sort of how likely are you to, I mean, for those that have seen it or been on it, how likely are you to recommend, like you said, Eric's working with you, Chris, in terms of, recommending it to co-workers or other team members? And it's a low hanging fruit just to kind of get somebody familiar with what's in the Cireson ecosystem. So definitely worth using. That's great. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Anything else?
Hey, Justin, you haven't forgotten about my issue, have you?
No, I haven't. I sent a note to John. I just haven't had a chance to get with him and take a deeper look.
All right. Thank you very
Yep.
much.
I still got you.
Awesome.
Justin, if you're following up with John, you want to follow up with the one I have into him?
Oh, he has one of your tickets?
Yeah, from a while ago.
Okay. Yeah.
And I just haven't heard anything back from him. I know he was looking into it, but we had 2 tickets around the same time, and you took one of them over from him. I think he took it because you were out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just kind of got lost in a black hole, I guess. It's not super urgent, but I can forward you the number once I look it back up.
I'm going to look for it right now. I got it right here.
Yeah, just a follow up on it would be fine.
I'll
Appreciate it, sir.
Grab it right now, actually. Oh yeah, there's Jamaica as we close out.
You don't want to see me. That's what. It's so infrequent that I would actually show where I'm at. So figure I'd finish there.
Beautiful.
I'm not shy in letting you guys know what's going on here. So so you got those open questions for John then, Justin?
Yeah, a couple.
All right, cool. All right. Very cool. Okay, we're at the top of the hour. I'm going to thank you all for attending. And I always enjoy the open floors, regardless of what we cover. It's always good to kind of get palpable feedback from those that take the time to kind of catch up with us every other week. And we'll get this recording and the 18th out. Apologies for the delay on that, but we'll get that up on our site, and you'll be able to sort of reference that. And on that note, is anything else from the Cireson attendees?
I want to ask real fast. I apologize. I know you're winding down. Chris,
Sure.
Appreciate the feedback on the learning site. I'm just curious, as one who's been through, a good chunk of it, are there topics are there holes? Is there something you think that we could add there? Is there anything that seemed to be missing?
Not really. I mean, it was pretty in depth, and I'll have to ask Eric how he felt about it the first time, because I mean, by the time I got to watch them and go through them, I'd been doing SCSM for 3 or 4 years at the time. So
Yeah.
I kind of want to see what Eric would say to go, oh, well, learning this was missing, or this would have been nice. But as somebody that at least had experience with it, I think you guys did a wonderful job. I think type projections, or one of them was broke for the longest time. So I don't even know if I went back and finished it.
Oh. The class, getting to the class was
well,
broken, you think?
one of the sections inside of a class was broke, but I think it got fixed. I'll have to double check.
Cool.
And I know I can find it real easily, but but no, I mean, I honestly recommend it to anybody, even if they've been doing it, because it's a good refresher. And I use it going, okay, I can't remember how I did this, or, can't remember this specific thing about type rejections. And you can go into that section and you can just rewatch the video and go, oh, okay, now I'm back on track. So I kind of use it as a reference guide more than anything.
Nice. Can we hyperlink particular classes? I've never thought about sort of if someone said, oh, you've got to watch this class, could we send a link from the LMS page? Is it linkable that way?
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, a snippet. If someone's gone through the class, get in. I mean, I think you need to be registered. I would guess, just to kind of get to the content. But once you're registered, if someone says, "Oh, check this out. This may help you get over the question that you have." Yeah, it just came to me in terms of sending a link out to somebody. Just says, "Hey, watch this 3-minute video," versus you've got to go through LMS. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it'd be a good way to add it to like a knowledge article or something. You could link it within there.
Yeah. I like that idea too. I mean, even within our knowledge base, that would be a nice value add. Okay, there's some good takeaways there for sure. Did I answer your question, Justin?
Definitely,
good?
yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, the answer was no, which is fine, which is good, actually.
Well,
I
if I come
bet
up with something, I'll email you. You know I
Yeah.
will.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Alrighty. Okay, then on that note, we'll close out the meeting there. Thanks again for your attendance and your time. Enjoy the rest of your Friday and into the weekend, and have a good rest of the week.
Thanks, you too.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, too.
Thanks,
All right.
everybody.
Take
Have a
care.
great weekend.
You guys.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.